Hey, what's up guys? It's Krishna here, and in today's video, I'm going to be showcasing Drill Run Beedrill in Great League. So yeah, Weedle Community Day just concluded a couple of hours ago here in India, and hope you guys had an absolute blast with your shiny hunting, and hopefully you guys got some good PvP IV ones as well. I certainly had an absolute blast. I made a couple of them. I made a couple of shinies as well, but in this video, I'm going to be showcasing the regular one because that's the one I powered up, probably because it has the best IVs or overall IVs, I should say. Even though not ideal PvP IVs, I mean, I'm fine with it. But anyways, I think also the trainer that I'm going to be going up against today, these are basically just blind battles because we just became friends on the trainer club Discord like a couple of days ago. So there's an element of surprise there because we don't really know what we're running. And I thought, this would be just a perfect opportunity to basically kind of simulate the Go.A.T League environment and just try out this particular Pokemon and see how it performs in different matchups and also in different team comps as well. You'll see that through the course of this video, I'm going to be trying Beedrill with a bunch of different teams and seeing how it performs basically. So initially I'm going to have a few losses because I'm not exactly sure. I try a bunch of different things and experiment with it, like I said. But as we progress into the video, you'll see that I'll start performing a little better because I'm a lot more familiar with the matchups then. So yeah, it was very exciting. A lot of exciting set of battles with the Drill Run Beedrill. It is very good in a lot of niche matchups. So let's just get straight into the commentary right now. Already there's one battle has already been concluded. So we have I'm going to be leading with Whiscash into Vigoroth right here. I like having Whiscash as a cover for Beedrill because I think Whiscash covers for two of Beedrill's important weaknesses, being fire and rock type weaknesses. Whiscash also has access to Blizzard, which can pretty much one-shot Altaria, which is going to do really well against Beedrill as well. So I think Whiscash is something that you can definitely consider pairing along with Beedrill. Also, Azumarill is another option as well, obviously. So at this point, I'm running Beedrill, Umbreon, and Whiscash for this first battle, just because Umbreon is a fantastic generalist. So they make a switch, or they bring in Stunfisk right here. At this point, I'm just going to overfarm and then go for the Fell Stinger. I'm running Fell Stinger in this particular sort of video because I want to amp up my attack, just amp up the poison jabs and then, of course, a Drill Run as well. Luckily, I was able to bait out a shield right there. And at this point, I'm just going to go for another Fell Stinger. I'm hoping for another shield because now that I sort of baited, they might think I'm going to go for the Drill Run here. But unfortunately, they don't shield that. This is not a great situation. So at this point, I'm going to shield because Mud Bomb would hit for neutral because of the bug poison typing on Beedrill. At this point, I'm just going to overcharge and go for another Fell Stinger right here, really hoping to get that shield because I need to land the Drill Run. But unfortunately, I don't think, I can beat him to the charge move, which is why I make a switch into Umbreon to catch this charge move right here. It ends up being a Mud Bomb, so I'm really hoping they have something in the back which is weak to Umbreon, but it's a Registeel. So this is not a great matchup at all. I'm going to throw the Dark Pulse right away here. Focus Blast is going to do a ton of damage to Umbreon. Although now Beedrill obviously does not get walled by Registeel anymore, simply because it has access to Drill Run, but it's still not a great matchup, right? Because Registeel is just so tanky, and then at this point I'm just gonna have to chip away with the Dark Pulse and hopefully get this Registeel into Drill Run range, and hopefully get off the Drill Run before they're able to get off another charge move. But unfortunately, my Switch Timer is not back up, and they're able to lock on farm the Umbreon down. And at this point, yeah, it's pretty much GG's because Beedrill really, I mean, from this range, it's definitely not going to be able to survive Flash Cannon, right? Even though it has a positive matchup right now, if you head over to PV Poke, in the one shield, it definitely beats Registeel and Azumarill, but it should be on neutral energy, right? I think that's the key because it's not really going to be able to take a Flash Cannon very well. As you can see, it does like 60 to 70% of Beedrill's health, so it's fairly glassy. It really can't take a lot of charge moves. And it's going to struggle against a lot of the meta as well. It has very good niche matchups, but you need to pair it up correctly. And I think Whiscash is pretty good. Like I said, I'm going to be trying with different team comps to see how it works best. And Altaria is definitely not something that you want to see if you're a Beedrill. So I'm going to switch into Skarmory right here. I have Skarmory and Whiscash in the back. This is not looking good because even Whiscash doesn't really have a great matchup against Altaria because, I mean, when shields are down, it's okay. But when shields are up, it's going to really struggle because Mud Shots and Mud Bombs are double resisted. And you just have to play the bait game, right? So Vigoroth here, and at this point, I know probably I don't know if I should maintain switch advantage here. Doesn't look like I'm going for switch advantage here. I'm looking for the shield advantage. Like I said, I'm just experimenting with a bunch of different things trying to see how Beedrill would perform when shields are down, if I maintain switch advantage, or if shields are up and I lose switch advantage, how can Beedrill perform? So I was just trying out these different scenarios. So at this point, just gonna come in with, I guess, Beedrill, and then completely sort of, I guess, just soak the charge move, I think. Yeah, body slam. Look at how much body slam does, right? It does almost 50% of Beedrill's health, which is a lot more than you would expect. But gonna switch into Whiscash right here and then hope to land a Blizzard. And they have a shift tree in the back. This is pretty much GG's, because even though we are upper shield and we have the energy advantage, it's not gonna be great. Now Beedrill, I would love to have had Beedrill on the shift tree, because poison jabs would do super effective damage and Fell Stinger would be double super effective. Even though Fell Stinger is a pretty weak move, it's still okay. But anyways, I think according to PV Poke, though, they recommend running X-Scissor along with Drill Run, obviously. I mean, in my opinion, I think you can, run other move sets as well. I mean, I like running Fell Stinger just because of, you can amp up the poison jabs basically to, and then obviously amp up the Drill Run as well. You could also run Sludge Bomb to provide that additional coverage against Azumarill. X-Scissor is obviously the recommended moveset because it does a little more damage than Fell Stinger, even though it doesn't really give you the attack buff. It's definitely but in this particular scenario, I'm gonna go in with Fell Stinger. So yeah, this is almost over at this point. Like I said, I mean, Beedrill really struggles against Altaria, irrespective of the moveset it has. I mean, of course, these poison jabs are hitting for neutral, and if you had Sludge Bomb, then you might be able to hit for neutral damage. But otherwise, Dragon Breaths would absolutely destroy the Beedrill, and of course, Sky Attack would be doing super effective damage as well. So that's one thing that I think, yes, Drill Run doesn't provide coverage against, is the flying type weakness of Beedrill. It provides great coverage against its rock and fire type weaknesses, but against the flying typing, there's not a lot you can do. It also gives us great protection to steel types, which would otherwise wall it until this point. But yeah, so I think I try and change the team up again a little bit more. So I leave all the matchups and timestamps in the pin comment below, so you can check it out to see like different team comps I use and different matchups that I'm going to go against. I'm going to try it with the Azumarill Registeel core this time. I always say that the best way to try out a new Pokemon, is to just pair it to the Azumarill Registeel core. So this is the best matchup you can ask for against Alolan Ninetales, right? So it's pretty much going to one-shot it if it goes unshielded. The fact that they're staying in tells me that they have something in the back which is also weak to Registeel. So they bring in the Stunfisk right here. Gonna go for the Focus Blast, and I believe I'm gonna switch out after this because I know now that they probably have something in the back which is weak to Registeel. I might as well preserve it actually to a certain extent. But I was slightly slow on the switch, so this could probably be a Discharge, which does super effective damage against Azumarill. They make a switch into Shift Tree, so not a great matchup, but with an energy advantage, I'm going to be able to get off this Ice Beam, so this should definitely pressure a shield from the Shift Tree right here. And we do get the shield, which is fine. I do have a shield advantage at this point, so I don't think I'm going to shield here because I can just come back with Beedrill and then completely destroy the Shift Tree, because Beedrill has such a positive matchup against Shift Tree. So I'm going to have to watch out for Foul Play, which would do quite a bit of damage, but I let it go through just to see how much it does. It does over 50. That does like so much damage. That did way more damage than I would have thought it would. And yeah, just a little bit of lag. Even though Go.A.T League has gone down, the lag is still persisting right here, which is kind of hilarious. But anyways, also, I think the other thing I wanted to say though is that, I mean, finally, we're able to Poison Jab the Shift Tree down. I'm going to go straight for the Drill Run because if they think this is the bait, it's going to one-shot it like it does here. I mean, you'll see these course of the battles, a lot of them are so bait dependent because I failed the bait so many times that eventually I decided to just go for the nuke and it paid off. So, but anyways, I mean, ideally you wouldn't want to pair it with the Registeel because you have a common weakness to fire right there and you don't really want that. And also Beedrill doesn't do great against the ground types as well, even though it's only taking neutral damage. Beedrill is really going to struggle against something like Whiscash, right? Because it's going to resist those poison moves. It's going to struggle against Whiscash and Swampert and also against fire types. So basically using Registeel along with Beedrill is definitely not an ideal situation because you have multiple common weaknesses there. You might as well run it with Whiscash or Azumarill. I think in my opinion that would be the perfect way to pair it along. Of course, if you head over to PV Poke and check, they also recommend Galarian Stunfisk. But then even Galarian Stunfisk loses to Mud Boys and fire types as well. But now they know he knows what I'm running, right? So he brings in Alolan Marowak straight away. So I'm just going to switch into Haunter right here and go straight for the Shadow Ball. Shiftry is not a great matchup for Haunter, but even though it's resisted, Shadow Ball does quite a bit of damage to Shiftry because it's so glassy, and Haunter hits like a truck. So they're actually committing to the Snarl farm down. So I'm just going to go straight for the Shadow Ball here, which is going to do quite a bit of damage to Shiftry if it goes unshielded. It takes it out. This is beautiful. So all that energy goes waste. I maintain switch advantage, and I have Whiscash to basically cover up for a Beedrill. This is what I was talking about, right? Having Whiscash, being able to spam out those Mud Bombs, giving great protection against Alolan and Marowak. Against Charizard, it could be slightly more tricky because Mud Bombs would be resisted in that scenario. You would want something like an Azumarill. I think Azumarill is more of a reliable option as a coverage because it protects Beedrill against Altaria as well. But Whiscash is not bad either. So gonna just continue to throw these Mud Bombs. They are out of shields at this point. This Mud Bomb is gonna take out the Alolan Marowak, and they have a Registeel in the back. This is absolutely perfect because Whiscash is such a positive matchup against Registeel. And then of course, Beedrill has Drill Run, which does about 50% of Registeel's health. So let's see. I want to finish with Beedrill, but I think I shield this because yeah, I mean, I probably could have let it go and then come back with Beedrill, and that would have been the ideal way to finish off this game. But I'm still going to finish with Beedrill here. Throw the Mud Bomb and then come in with Beedrill. And then I guess I'm going to get off a Fell Stinger. So it's always kind of weird and satisfying to kind of eliminate a Registeel with a Fell Stinger. But very low, but I should do the trick here. So another good win. Like you can see, I mean, my performances kind of started improving because I've kind of began to understand the matchups in which I need to use it. Even though I lost the lead there, I was able to win back switch advantage and then pull through at the end. So let's see what, I mean, okay, I'm going to try it out with a different team comp here. I'm going to be leading with Umbreon and then having Azumarill in the back. Umbreon generally, because it's such a fantastic generalist, does so well in a lot of neutral matchups. And then Azumarill, like I said, just to protect Beedrill's weaknesses. So let's see what he decides to do here. It's just a lot of mind games. Like I said, these are still blind battles, but when you play a person like 4 or 5 times in a row, they begin to understand, your strengths and weaknesses and how you're, the different Pokemon you're carrying. But I'm just going to stick to Beedrill. I'm going to commit to Beedrill for the entire kind of set of battles that I do here. We met with a Lapras. Pretty neutral matchup. 2 very tanky Pokemon right here. But Umbreon definitely, I think, wins this matchup because Umbreon, I believe, is slightly more tankier than a Lapras in Great League. But my Umbreon is only single move, by the way. It has only Dark Pulse. Unfortunately, I did not unlock the Community Day move on it because I didn't feel the need to do so at the time, but now I regret it. But anyways, it's not foul play either. It's Dark Pulse because I like Dark Pulse just because it does a little more damage. But anyways, gonna throw the Dark Pulse right here. This should put this Lapras into the red if it goes unshielded, like it does right here. They make a switch into Vigoroth. So I'm just gonna go straight for the Dark Pulse, which is gonna do quite a bit of neutral damage to Vigoroth. And I believe I probably should switch into Beedrill right away here. But I'm waiting for them to throw their charge move first. But unfortunately, they don't. This is not a great situation. I probably should have switched into Beedrill right away because they committed to the farm down. Now I'm going to be forced to bring in Azumarill, but I would have loved to have Beedrill on the Vigoroth because Beedrill basically double resists the fighting moves, right? Because of the bug poison typing, it double resists counter even though body slams are going to add up. I bring in Azumarill to basically just soak the charge move so I can come in with Beedrill and then completely sort of go to town on this Vigoroth. So definitely going to have to shield these body slams. And they make a switch into Alolan Marowak. This is probably the worst nightmare for Beedrill because these poison jabs are resisted. Fell Stinger is double resisted as well. And Bone Club would hit for neutral. So at this point, I build up to two drill runs. And then I'm going to go back to back. The reason I don't bait here is if I fail the bait, it would be absolutely disastrous. So at this point, I know I have a double drill run. And this is where Beedrill, the new moveset really comes in super clutch, right? Again, some of its biggest weaknesses like Alolan Marowak there, you can see how much damage it basically did right there. Gonna switch it to Azumarill to just soak this Bone Club. But yeah, I mean, in matchups where it would have been otherwise completely walled previously, like in matchups like Alolan Marowak, Bastiodon, Registeel, etc., it can really put in some fights, right? It can really put up a fight like you can see right here. At this point, it's all up to Azumarill to close out this game. I still have a little bit of Beedrill left. Gonna farm down this Lapras and they're gonna get off a Surf right here, but I'm gonna try and just build up a little bit of extra energy so that I can get this Ice Beam off on Vigoroth before they're able to get off a charge move. So this Ice Beam should not KO the Vigoroth. It's going to get it pretty low, but I'm going to switch into Beedrill to soak this Body Slam right here. I was actually hoping to Poison Jab down, but they get off a charge move, which is fine because I can now come back into the Zoomrill and then get rid of this Vigoroth. So, yeah, I mean, like you can see, even though my Beedrill was locked in against an Alolan Marowak, it was still able to put up a fight. Now, that is a big win, right? That's one of the biggest wins from this Community Day move, is being able to sort of, I guess, flip those matchups, in those kind of scenarios as well. I think that's really one of the things why it's made this Pokemon viable in the Great League, which otherwise, you can't even imagine using Beedrill without Drill Run. But also, it has potential to do super effective damage against Hypno and Umbreon as well, especially if you're running X-Scissor. You can do super effective against that. So that's pretty good, right? I mean, you're gonna just do super effective against Azumarill, Registeel, Umbreon, and Hypno. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. So yeah, terrible matchup once again. Gonna switch into Whiscash right here. This is actually a team comp where I try Beedrill double water team because Beedrill does really well against grass types, being able to double resist them. So the strat right here is just basically if you win or lose the lead. I mean, in most scenarios, just safe switch into one of your water types so you can then line up your Azumarill. Basically has a clear path to victory at this point. But unfortunately, though, we are at a shield deficit. I'm going to shield this because I have to maintain switch advantage, right? Because I can't let my Beedrill go up against Altaria. I need my Azumarill against the Altaria. So I'm going to throw the Mud Bomb right away here. And this should take out the Vigoroth. And at this point, I'm just going to throw another Mud Bomb, hoping that he thinks it's a Blizzard and gives up a shield, which is very unlikely because this was too quick. I mean, I knew I probably couldn't have gotten to a Blizzard. I probably could have tried, to be honest. But yeah, even though I have switch advantage, they have a 2 shield advantage and a massive energy advantage, right? With an energy advantage and a 2 shield advantage, Altaria can definitely beat his Azumarill. So I'm going to throw the Ice Beam and they make a really nice switch on the charged move to Registeel to soak up this Ice Beam. And at this point, it's pretty much GG's right here. This is the BBML line, I think. No, actually not the BBML line. It was Vigoroth instead of Azumarill. So just gonna sack the Weedle here. It doesn't really have too much play at this point. Flash Cannon doing ton of damage. Gonna just try and bait with Fell Stinger and hoping to sort of draw a shield and hopefully somehow get to a Drill Run before they're able to get off charge mode. Unfortunately, we failed the bait. So this video is all about trying to just going for the bait, failing. Sometimes you'll get it through. It's just, I guess, with Beedrill, again, you have to play the bait game really well, right? Because it's about, are you going for the Drill Run or are you going for the Fell Stinger or X-Scissor? But at this point, it's pretty much game over because there's not a lot Azumarill can do against a 2-shield Registeel, and I'm going to probably go down right here. But anyways, I think Beedrill in that scenario, I think using it as a lead is slightly risky because so many people like leading with flyers. And then when you get locked in a matchup against Altaria or Skarmory, it's going to be absolutely disastrous, right? Because even if you switch into one of your mons, it's unlikely that you're going to maintain switch advantage. And if you don't maintain switch advantage, or if you even manage to maintain switch advantage, you're going to be at a major shield deficit. And Beedrill is going to struggle in those situations as well. Because it's going to need at least one shield to basically protect it. Because it's going to take a lot of damage from a lot of the moves from the Pokemon that you're going to likely see in the meta, right? So it's fairly glassy. So I think it's losing the lead so hard like that, it's very difficult to come back from. Which is why I think Beedrill could probably work a little bit better towards endgame. Maybe somewhere in the middle. Or towards the end rather than on the lead. I mean, it depends really, but just because, at least you can control where you use it, I guess. So gonna go into Vigoroth right here. Another matchup against Vigoroth. So at this point, I think in this matchup, I try it against Charizard. I tried along with the Charizard combination. This was a very, very good matchup. This is probably the best matchup out of the lot. You'll see the best of Beedrill here. So we have Vigoroth into Azumarill. So we have double glass cannons in the back, right? We have Charizard and Beedrill. Just wanted to see how this pairing would kind of work out. Like I said, just trying out different team comps. So let's see now. Body Slam coming through. Definitely not going to shield because, like I said, I've got double glass cannons in the back. Gonna have to save up shields for those two rather than having to burn shields on Azumarill. So another Body Slam coming through. Gonna let it go. Gonna lose switch advantage, but I'd rather have the shield advantage. Gonna bring in Beedrill right here and hopefully Poison Jab down before they're able to get off a charge move. And let's see now. Let's see what they decide to bring here. They bring in Altaria right here. This is absolutely disastrous. So I'm going to switch into Charizard. Even though Charizard is a pretty poor matchup against Altaria, at least we have a shield advantage. Definitely going to block this because it's going to... I mean, Charizard in Great League is extremely glassy. And they make a switch into Registeel. I think they were trying to catch the Dragon Claw right here. So I'm just going to build up a little bit of extra energy and then go straight for 2 Blast Burns, right? I'm going to go back-to-back Blast Burns just because... And they decided not shield. They probably thought that was a Dragon Claw bait. Now we're looking in a great position. So we had so much energy that I'm going to throw the Dragon Claw immediately. Doesn't get the shield. This is very interesting. So at this point, I'm going to go for another Dragon Claw right here. They are trying to commit to the farm down. But this should definitely pressure shields, right? And now I'm going to switch into Beedrill. Now, let's see now. Can Beedrill beat an Altaria, right? Altaria is probably Beedrill's biggest nemesis. Going to throw the Fell Stinger, which is double resisted by Altaria, but it's definitely going to amp up the poison jabs. Double Fell Stinger coming through. We have a shield advantage at this point, so we can definitely block the next Sky attack. And yeah, we can block it, but the question though is, do they have another Sky attack? And is this poison jab going to be enough to finish it off? It does. Oh my god. Beedrill poison jabbing and, using Fell Stinger to get rid of an Altaria. That's pretty crazy. That is awesome. That's always great to see. So yeah, great set of battles right there. Like I said, not the perfect showcase. Used it in a bunch of weird team comps. Massive shout outs to the Trader Club and also to this trainer right here for some great battles. Really good trainer. Really good battler as well. So... yeah, I think it was great trying out Beedrill with a bunch of different team comps. Like I said, in a lot of scenarios, it would be definitely very vulnerable. It's not something that, it's highly recommended, if you're trying to pick some top meta Pokemon to, maybe climb up the ranks. But it's going to be very good as in very niche matchups, right? In very specific matchups, it can come out on top. And if you want to use something interesting, apart from, the standard BBML, Azumarill, Registeel, Altaria core, you want to try out something different and fun and interesting, I think this is definitely a Pokemon that's worth trying as far as Great League is concerned. So we're going to have to wait and see how it would shape up in other leagues. We'll have to see how the Mega Evolved form of Beedrill would shape up now that Mega Evolutions are coming to Pokemon Go. But for now, I think... for Great League, I think it's definitely a decent option. So anyways, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy it, please give it a big thumbs up and also hit that subscribe button as well. And yeah, I'll be back tomorrow with another Go Battle League video. And I'll see you there.